Hello and good morning students. Good to see you in this 13th lecture, semester 2. In today's lecture, we are going to commence a new chapter in English grammar. As you can see on the board, chapter number 15, infinitives. Well, before I get into the details of this chapter given to us, in our text on page number 125, from the You Know section and the Let's Learn section, I feel the importance of taking you and recapitulating what you learned in the previous two standards, that is standard 6 as well as 7th. Well, you learned about infinitives earlier in standard 7th, and where infinitives are connected, it is the verb forms. Therefore, it's very important for us to recapitulate what we learned earlier, so that the learning of this class or this topic is firm in our mind. So as you see, I have prepared a board to begin my discussion to teach this topic, infinitives, to you. Let us look at the board and try to understand what is the earlier knowledge which we already have, and we are just going to refresh and recapitulate that. So have a look at the board. Verb forms. So understanding about infinitives is directly connected to verb forms. There are 5 forms of any verb. Well, I am quite sure that you are acknowledged about verbs. Action, doing, words are called verbs. So there are 5 forms of any verbs. 2 present forms, 2 past forms, and 1 is the infinitive form. Let us read the details about it. 2 present forms. When I say 2 present forms, it has the present, or I say simple present form, or in other words, if I say it is the base form of the verb. And in addition to that, we have the present participle form. So I am quite sure that you are well versed and well acknowledged about these 2 forms. So out of the 5 forms, 2 present forms, present, oblique, or optional I can say base form of the verb, and second is the present participle form. So in this way we have 2 present forms. For example, I say the word take. Take is the present form in general, or I can say as the base form when I am using it with something else. So take and taking are examples of present or base form. Take is base form or present form. Taking is the example of present participle form, where I have applied the word, the letters ing into it. So take, present or base form as we call it, and taking as we call it as the present participle form. Another example, brush is a verb action doing word, present form, or in other words we call it as base form, and brushing, which has been changed by applying the ing into its present participle form. So I hope this is quite clear to you. 2 present forms, base form and present participle form. Further, we have got 2 past forms. Out of the 5 forms, we have got 2 past forms, of which one is the simple past and the other is the past participle form. Well, it's very important for every student to have the acknowledgement of these 4 forms particularly. You must have come across a set of words in the previous class textbooks. Example, if I say sing is the base form in the present, so sing changes to its past form as sang, isn't it? Sang, past form, simple past form, and if I want to write its past participle form, I have to change it to sung. Sing is the present form, sang is the past form, and sung is the past participle form. Well, we use the past participle form when we write the perfect tenses. So sang, sung, one example. Another example, walked, the past form of a verb, simple past, and walk once again is the past participle form of the verb. So you have to train your brain. Most of the time we have verbs where you find the past form and the past participle form having the same spelling and the same pronunciation. Unlike what you saw over here, sang and sung, walk, base form or the present form, walked, past form, simple past form, and the same spelling, same word, walked as the past participle form. So we just refreshed about 4 different forms of verb, and finally the 5th one, the infinitive form. is very important. Pay attention because this is what we are going to learn in the infinitive section. Preposition TO2 plus the base form of the verb. We just understood about the base form, isn't it? Take. So if I similarly take a word open, open is the base form. Write is a base form of a verb, action doing word verb. When I precede it or I use it with the preposition to open, to write, to close, to give, to take, such words or such formulation is called infinitive form. Well, we are going to learn more about this in class 8 as well. Even in the earlier class you learned about the usage of infinitives, and let me take just two sentences which will enable you to understand from the class 7th too. Well, two sentences to understand about finite and infinite verbs. Well, when you look into the finite and infinite, it becomes easy for us to understand the infinitives, what infinitives are. Let us see this sentence. If I write, they always flatter her. And I write the same sentence, to flatter her is easy. Now you can see the word flatter which has been used as a verb in this sentence over here. Flatter is the action doing word verb, isn't it? But it plays a different role in each of these sentences. In the first sentence, they always flatter her, when flatter is a verb, plays the role of a finite verb. Whereas in the second sentence, to flatter her is easy is playing the role of an infinite verb. Well, how? What is it? Let me tell you about this. When a sentence has a verb in it and it has a subject for itself, then we say that the verb is in the finite form, or it is a finite verb. Here you can see, they always flatter her. When we have the subject they, therefore the word flatter, which is a verb, is a finite verb. Whereas in the second sentence, to flatter her is easy. You will not find any subject over it. Therefore, the word flatter is playing the role of an infinite verb over here, not a finite verb. This is what you learned in class 7. Let me read out to you more about this. In the first sentence, the verb flatter has a subject. Hence, the verb flatter is limited by number and person, isn't it? We can say that the subject THEY they is third person plural. But when we do not have any subject over here, how are we going to find its number or person? Therefore, in the second sentence, to flatter has no subject. Hence, it is not limited by number and person. It simply names the action denoted by the verb. Such verbs are called infinitives. Well, I hope finite verb and infinite verb is now clear to you. Well, the use of to flatter together is called to infinitive that you learned in the earlier class. Let us now proceed and read from our text given to us in the you know section to finally recall our knowledge. Open your books to page 125. Keep it in your hand. The you know section. Verbs have different forms. Well, I just mentioned verbs have 5 forms, such as infinitives, one form of the verb, the gerunds, the participles. Well, we will be learning about gerunds and participle as a separate chapter in the upcoming chapter, chapter number 16. For now, we will be concerned about infinitives. Not only this, you learnt about gerunds and participle as single chapters in standard 7th as well. Each form of the verb is used differently. So, a different use of the verb has been shown with the help of the examples for all the 3 infinitive, gerund and participle. Have a look at the example sentence. Walking is good for health. Now, the moment you read this sentence, walking is good for health, what must have come to your mind? That walking has ing inside it, therefore it is the present participle form of the verb. Well, that is true. It is looking like the present participle form of the verb walking. Walk plus ing, walking is good for health. But let me stop you and tell you over here that here the word walking is not playing the role of a verb over here. Instead of that, it's playing the role of a noun over here. Because here we are not talking about the action of walking. We are talking about walking, which is the name of an exercise. So here the gerund walking is used as a noun here. As you can just read. This is something that you've already learned because it's given in the you know section. The gerund walking. So let me tell you, the word walking is not a verb. It is a form of the verb which is told as or understood as gerund. So gerund playing the role of a noun over here. This is a confusing answer. So once again we have the word confusing. Confused plus ing form of the verb. But let me tell you, even here too, it is not playing the role of a present participle form of the verb. The participle confusing is used as an adjective over here. So you see the different uses of the forms of verb over here. Here you can see the word confusing is describing the noun answer. Therefore, answer is the noun, confusing is its adjective. Although it is a participle, but it is playing the role of a adjective over here. So you see, verbs have different uses in this way. Well, we will be reading about gerunds and participle in chapter number 16. For now, we will be concerned about infinitives. Now, let's see the next thing. The infinitive. As we already understood, the infinitive has two forms. The two infinitives and the zero infinitives, or we also call as bare infinitives. Yes, B-A-R-E, bare infinitives. We've got two forms of infinitives. The two infinitives and the zero infinitive, or we call as bare infinitive. Well, let's read from the text. The to infinitive is comprised of the preposition to plus the base form of the verb. As I just said earlier, the zero infinitive or the bare infinitive is nothing but the base verb or the base form of the verb itself. The zero infinitive is the form that is usually found in the dictionary listing. Example words: sit, eat, walk. These are not the only three. There are many such base form of the verbs, or the generally what we say the verbs, what we use in day-to-day usage. Sit, eat, walk, open, close, come, go, and such words are called zero infinitives or base verbs, or the base form of the verb. So I hope the two types of infinitives are now clear to you, the to infinitive and the zero infinitive. Well, this was all about the you know section that we just recapitulated. Next we have the let's learn section to read. So let's go through it and try to infer and understand what is given to us. Adjectives such as the words easy, hard, difficult, good and comfortable are followed by an active infinitive, not a passive one. So here is a bit of learning for us. That when you make use of these words, these adjective words like easy, hard, difficult, good and comfortable, these words are followed by active infinitive and not passive one. Let us see the example to understand this better. Apples are good to eat, and we don't say apples are good to be eaten. We are not using to be eaten as we just understood about it, that to be eaten. To be eaten would be the passive way of writing. Eaten is the past participle form of the verb. So we say apples are good to eat, and we don't say apples are good to be eaten. This lesson is hard to be learnt. No, it's incorrect to use the passive form of the infinitive over here. We use the active infinitive and not the passive one. Therefore, this lesson is hard to learn and not to be learnt. Well, two examples to understand this bit of it. Next thing, the infinitive may sometimes be used as the subject or a finite verb, but the use of the introductory is generally preferred. Now what is being told to us over here, and this we learned earlier in class 7 as well. The infinitive may sometimes be used as a subject. So what is being told? The infinitive itself becomes a subject, but it is used. But the use of introductory is generally preferred. Means we use an introductory word over there. What is the introductory word? It is a small word, it. As you see, to steal is wrong. Now when I say to steal is wrong, it is the to infinitive used in the beginning of a sentence with the base form of the verb to plus steal. To steal is wrong. So I can say the word steal is an infinite verb because it does not have a subject over here, about what we learned over here. On the other hand, if you see, it is wrong to steal. We are using the word it over here as an introductory word, playing the role of a subject over here. It is wrong to steal. So here you see, it is wrong to steal becomes a finite verb for us, to steal. So it is used as an introductory word and as a subject over here. Other examples, to find fault is easy. On the other hand, you can say it is easy to find fault. So we are just changing the way of writing by introducing the word it over here as a subject over here. Well, there are a few more examples. To waste your money is foolish. It is foolish to waste your money. To talk like this is rude. It is rude to talk like that. To eat too much is harmful. It is harmful to eat too much. In all these sentences, you will observe and find that the first set of sentences used the to infinitive as a subject, whereas in the second set of sentences, we have used the introductory word it as a subject. Then we have used the to infinitive. Well, moving on to the next page, page 126. Read the following sentences. Note the use of a preposition after the infinitive. And so far we learned about infinitives. That is the to infinitive and the to infinitive having the introductory it. But yes, sometimes we make use of a preposition even after the infinitive. Let us see how is this used. I have no chair to sit. Now, saying this would be incorrect. I have no chair to sit. The word to sit is an infinitive over here, a to infinitive. But even after that, we are again using another preposition, as you can read over here. I have no chair to sit on. The word on is a preposition which has been applied, which has been used after the to infinitive. That is what we just read. Read the following sentences. Note the use of a preposition after the infinitive. I have no chair to sit on. Well, not to sit. So you cannot stop the sentence at the word sit over there and say I have no chair to sit, full stop. No, that would be incorrect way of writing and saying. We will have to say and we will have to write I have no chair to sit on. You will have to apply the preposition on over there in order to make your sentence correct. Well, some more examples. He has no toys to play. With has to be applied over here. He has no toys to play with, and then apply the full stop, and not to stop by just saying he has no toys to play would be incorrect. So these are some stipulated usages that we need to keep in mind in grammar while using infinitives. They have no house to live in. She has some businesses. She has some business to attend to. So you see observe the thing on, with, in, to are all prepositions which are being applied after the use of infinitives. He has a large family to work for and not just to write to work. So these were a few examples which help us to understand the use of a preposition after the infinitive. Finally, infinitives are sometimes used to join a pair of sentences. Well, we learned about using conjunctions to join sentences. We learned about the other things to join sentences. So here we are going to learn about infinitives, how infinitives can be helpful to join two different sentences. Alice went to the market, a single sentence containing a subject, a predicate and a finite verb within it. She wanted to buy some vegetables. You see, here we have she wanted to buy some vegetables. So these two sentences can be joined merely by using infinitives and not any other conjunction or an adjective over here. Alice went to the market to buy some vegetables. You see how beautifully the two things have been joined without using any conjunction or any other word over here. Alice went to the market to buy some vegetables. The two separate sentences have been joined by using the word to buy, which was already present in the second sentence as a part of the infinitive with the subject she. Another example. He has 6 children. One sentence. He must provide for them. He needs to provide money and other things for them, for their needs. So he has 6 children to provide for. So you see, we have changed and we have applied the preposition to along with the base of the verb provide. So you see the difference between the two applications over here. He has 6 children to provide for. He, must and them are the three words which we have eliminated. So you will have to be careful when you join the two sentences. Sometimes you may have the to infinitive already given to you in the sentence, but sometimes it will be missing. So you will have to apply over there as per the requirement of the sentence. Hence, the second example, he has 6 children to provide, utilize the word provide and applied the preposition to before it. Hence, he has 6 children to provide. But remember, we are applying the preposition after that, for, as you see in the second sentence given in the question. To provide for. We just learnt about the use of preposition after an infinitive, isn't it? So, he has 6 children to provide for. So, these were the new things that we learned from the Let's Learn section that we need to remember for the rest of the time. Upcoming is an exercise. We have altogether A, B, C, D, 4 exercises to perform. So let's perform each one of them one at a time and just practice about all that we have learned from the You Know as well as the Let's Learn section. Let's proceed with the first exercise, which is a very simple one. Rewrite the following sentences using the introductory it. The first one has been done for you. So let's read it. To play with explosives is dangerous. Well, we had similar sentences in the example. So we are going to introduce the word it and then rewrite the sentence. It is dangerous. So what do you observe over here? After writing the introductory word it, we have picked up the auxiliary verb at the end is dangerous, and then we have rearranged the to infinitive over here to play, where we had to as a preposition, play as the base form of the verb. So together it is the infinitive what we have written over here. It is dangerous to play with what? With explosives. So merely we have to reconstruct the entire sentence correctly after introduction of the word it, the preposition it. Let's do it in the other sentences together on the board. Exercise A. Rewrite the following sentences using the introductory word it. Well, let's begin with the second one. To call people names is not polite. So we have to call as the infinitive given to us. Let's change this into using the interrogate. It is not polite. We'll be using is not polite along with the introductory word. It is not polite what? To call people names. To call people names. Next one. Third one, to read your handwriting is difficult. Well, let's write it with the interrogate. It is, we use the word is difficult. It is difficult, then the infinitive, to read your handwriting. Number 4. To bribe a public servant is against the law. Rewriting this as with the interrogate. It, and then using the word is against the law. It is against the law to bribe, before using the infinitive, to bribe a public servant. Next one, number 5. To deceive. Deceive means to cheat. To deceive your best friend is disgraceful, a matter of shame, disgraceful. To deceive your best friend is disgraceful. Rewriting the sentence with the interrogate. It, and then using is disgraceful. It is disgraceful then using the infinitive, to deceive your best friend. These were the 5 sentences that we rewrote introducing the interrogate. We have 3 more sentences to write. So let's write them together. I hope this is clear to you. Sixth one, to bask in the sun means to take sun bath. To bask in the sun on a winter morning is pleasant. Let's rewrite this with the introductory it. It is, so it, and then I take it is, the action doing word pleasant. It is pleasant to bask, the infinitive, in the sun on a winter morning. So in this manner, we've written the introductory it with the infinitive. Number 7, to turn down her request would be a mistake. For the answer, using the introductory it, then you taking the verb over here, past tense of will, would is given to us. It would be a mistake, so we have to start from here. It would be a mistake to turn down. To turn down means to reject, to refuse. It would be a mistake to turn down her request. The last one on page 127. To miss this opportunity would be a pity. To begin with the introductory it, again we are using the word would. It would be a pity the infinitive to miss this opportunity. So you see in this manner, we have written all the 8 sentences given to us, beginning with the infinitive as a subject, with it as the introductory word as a subject. Once again, we've written it. Next, we have the exercise B given to us. Complete the following sentences using suitable infinitives. And the first one has been done for you, for your acknowledgement. This book is easy. And then, in the space provided, you've been given an infinitive of its choice. To read, well, we can have any other suitable words over here. This book is easy to read. This book is easy to understand, and any such other infinitive you can write with the preposition to and the base form of the verb. And we have got 7 more sentences, 2 to 8. Let's do them. These shoes are comfortable. What can I write over here? There could be multiple options, isn't it? Each one of you must be having different options, but a suitable one is required. These shoes are comfortable to wear. These shoes are comfortable to keep in the bag. Maybe the shoes are very compact, so you can easily keep it in the bag. So these shoes are comfortable to wear. These shoes are comfortable to keep, and such options you can write over there. Well, we'll write one option for each of these. You can have other options for yourself. The appropriate one is to wear. Third one, her story is hard. When someone tells you a story, you may be able to believe it, you may not be able to believe it, isn't it? So this story is hard to believe. So the appropriate one that comes to my mind is to believe. You can write other suitable infinitives over there, but it should be a suitable one. Her story is hard to digest. Someone, not literally digesting, but it's a way of saying to digest. To believe, meaning is the same. Next one, number 4. Her tale of woe was pitiful. Well, tale means the story. Her tale of woe was pitiful. So someone was telling somebody's pitiful thing that happened to the person, and it was difficult for you, it was very pitiful for you to hear the same. So we will be having the infinitive, suitable infinitive over here is to hear. Her tale of woe was pitiful to hear. Number 5. Sandwiches are simple to make, isn't it? Sandwiches are simple to prepare. Instead of make, you can use another word, prepare also, alternatively. So to make and to prepare both are suitable ones in my point of view. If you have another word which is, or another infinitive which is suitable, you may write that as well. So think about it before you write it. This box is too heavy to lift. This box is too heavy to push. This box is too heavy to drag, or any such other suitable infinitive can be inserted over here. So to lift, to drag, to push are 3 options that I tried to share with you. Number 7. The emergency numbers are easy. Well, emergency numbers should be easily memorizable, isn't it? Just as we have 108 for the emergency services here in Bhavnagar and all over our country. 108 what we call 108. So emergency numbers are easy to remember. Usually they are made easy, so people can remember that very easily. Or alternatively we can write emergency numbers are easy to reach, isn't it? It's easy for one to dial up that number. Or alternatively you can say emergency numbers are easy to dial. Well, dialing also is very easy because you have already memorized them. Or sometimes the numbers are repetitive, so you don't have to move your fingers here and there, easily you will be able to dial them. So the emergency numbers are easy to remember, the emergency numbers are easy to dial, or alternatively the emergency numbers are easy to reach. So 3 options I shared with you for the 7th one. Finally, for the 8th one, the essay is difficult to learn. The essay is difficult to write. The essay is difficult to memorize, or the essay is difficult to understand. So 4 alternative infinitives I tried to discuss with you. If you still have something suitable over here, you can go ahead and write it over there. This was exercise B, in which we inserted simple infinitives suitable to the given sentence. Moving ahead with the next one, we have yet a simple exercise to perform. Add an appropriate preposition to complete these sentences. The first one has been done for you. Well, we learned about this in the Let's Learn section on page 126, where we acknowledged ourselves that there are certain sentences where you have to use preposition. Even after using the infinitive, you cannot stop over there. Well, so we have an exercise of similar kind for our practice. Our house is very pleasant to live, but stopping at the word live is not suitable. So the preposition has been applied in that example done for you. Our house is very pleasant to live in. So in is the suitable preposition that we have applied over here. So let us apply some more suitable prepositions which are required in this sentences. The second one, the chair is not very comfortable to sit. Naturally, you will come up with only one word, that is on, isn't it? You will not be writing any other not suitable preposition over there, because on is the only suitable one that comes to our mind. The chair is not very comfortable to sit on, isn't it? On is a preposition. Third one, the accountant needs to look dash the accounts. So the accountant needs to look. When an accountant is looking at the records, we will be using the word or the preposition into rather than using in over here. So into is the appropriate word. The accountant needs to look into the accounts. It's a phrase or a way of saying an idiom. Look into, it means to check. Fourth one, she has no cupboard to keep her clothes. Well, somebody does not have a cupboard to keep her clothes inside it. So we'll be using the word in over here. She has no cupboard to keep her clothes in. In is the suitable, appropriate preposition that we need to apply at the completion of the fourth sentence in order to make it correct. Well, leaving it, not applying a preposition would be incorrect. That is what we learned. Fifth one, don't lose your heart. There is so much to live dash. Well, someone has got disappointed for something and someone is giving condolence or consoling the soul that there is so much to live for. Yes, human beings have got so much to live for. Even if you have loosened your heart, something has gone wrong with you, you can live for another thing in life. So there is no need to lose heart. Don't lose heart. There is so much to live for. For is the appropriate preposition required to complete this statement. Number 6. She has no bed to lie means to sleep, to lie on. So, she has no bed to lie on. On is the preposition required over here or a suitable one to complete the sentence. Number 7. We have asked the police to enquire. Well, it's not inquire, it's enquire. We have asked the police to enquire dash the robbery. Think about a preposition that will be suitable over here and you will come up with just one word, that is about the robbery. A robbery has taken place and you are asking the police to inquire regarding that. Therefore, you will be requiring the preposition in context to the sentence, that is about. 8th one, we have so many guests to attend dash. We can't spare anyone much time. We have so many guests to attend to. Again, we will be requiring another preposition over here, that is to. Although we have to attend with the preposition to plus attend, again we require the word to in order to complete the to attend to would be the exact way of saying this statement. So I hope applying prepositions accordingly and appropriately is now clear to you. So the concept that we learned in the Let's Learn section, we've already practiced exercise C. Finally, we learned about joining sentences using infinitives. So we have that exercise 2, 8 sentences given to us. Exercise D, join the following pairs of sentences using infinitives. The first one has been done as an example. So let's read the example and then try to do the rest of the sentences on the board. Rohan went to the library. One sentence. He wanted to borrow a book. The second sentence. Now, if you carefully observe the second sentence, you will observe that as per the example, Alice went to the market. She went to buy some vegetables. We had the preposition given to us, the infinitive given to us, the preposition plus the base word. That is the infinitive given to us. Similarly, in this sentence, the second sentence, we have the word to borrow as the infinitive. Therefore, it should be easy for us to join it. Rohan went to the library to borrow a book. So, eliminating the words he wanted as a subject part, we have just picked up the words to borrow a book and joined it as one sentence and then applying the full stop. So, the two sentences now got combined as one with the help of the infinitive already given to us in the second sentence. Let's move ahead and do the rest of the sentences on the board. Exercise D. Join the following pairs of sentences. Using infinitives. First sentence you already read out. We'll start with the second one. The question given to us on page number 128. I went to the shop. I wanted to buy a shirt. Pair of sentences. I went to the shop. I wanted to buy a shirt. Well, so you can very well observe the second sentence has the infinitive to buy already present within it. So we will not have to utilize a preposition separately, simply we will have to join it. I went to the shop, and I am eliminating the subject I and the verb wanted. Simply I am utilizing the rest of the words to buy a shirt. I went to the shop to buy a shirt, and in this manner I have joined the two sentences, combining into one single sentence using the infinitive to buy already given to us in the sentence, second sentence. Third one. The girls went to the park. They wanted to play on the swings. Two sentences to be combined into one. The girls went to the park, and eliminating the subject and the verb, just utilizing the infinitive and the other words. To play on the swing. So we joined two separate sentences into one, combined them as one single sentence. Fourth one. The children went to the zoo. They wanted to see the tigers. Children went to the zoo. The answer. The children went to the zoo, and I am using the preposition to see along with the other words. To see the tiger, after eliminating the words they and wanted. Next one, number 5. Neeraj switched on the television. He wanted to watch the match. He wanted to watch the match. The answer: Neeraj switched on the television. Then combine by eliminating the subject and the verb to watch the match. Number 6. Rima went to London. She wanted to attend her cousin's wedding. Let's join this together with the infinitive provided to us. Rima went to London, and then using the preposition and the base on the verb together, the infinitive to attend, her cousin's wedding. We have eliminated the subject she and the verb wanted. Next, number 7. Here you will have to be a little alert and careful. She plays the piano. This is her hobby. Now this is the second type of joining the sentence that we saw in the Let's Learn section. He has 6 children, he must provide for them. Well, here we haven't been given the infinitive in the second pair of sentence. So we'll have to be a little careful while writing this statement. She plays piano. This is her hobby. Let's write the answer. Well, you've got to be a little careful while constructing or joining these two sentences. Unlike the previous 7 sentences where we had the infinitive given to us in the second sentence everywhere, we have no infinitive given to us. She plays piano, this is her hobby, and we have no infinitive over here. Well, let's join this in this manner. Her hobby is to play the piano. So we have joined this in an unusual manner. Her hobby, which we have utilized from the second pair of the sentences. She plays piano. This is her hobby. Let's write it. Her hobby. We have the subject first. Her hobby is to play piano. So in this manner, in an unusual way, we'll have to join the sentence. Unlike what we joined in the earlier places. Next one, number 8. He wants to be an actor. this is his desire, a similar one. He wants to be an actor. This is his desire. Well, have a careful look at this sentence. Unlike the seventh one, this sentence is also of a different type. He wants to be an actor. You can see, usually we had the infinitive in the second part, but this time we have the infinitive in the first part given to us. He wants to be an actor and this is his desire. Well, in the seventh, we had no infinitives given to us and therefore we restructured the whole sentence in this manner. Her hobby, by using the subject her hobby, as her is the subject, her hobby is to play the piano. But this one, we have the infinitive but in the first part. So be a little careful. Here we will have to introduce the introductory word it that we have learned earlier. Well, it is, so we are using this just like we did in the first exercise, exercise A. It is his desire what? To be an actor. So we have the infinitive given in the first sentence unlike the other 7 sentences. It is his desire to be an actor. So the 7th and 8th one were different from the rest of the 7 sentences. It is his desire to be an actor. So I hope you were able to join, infer, understand about the concept of joining the two given sentences with the help of infinitives. Moving ahead, we have on page number 131 the let's talk for our assistants to understand finally. Lara and Sona are in conversation, so let's read about it. Lara has just heard that Sona is going to be performing in a play for her annual day. Read their dialogue aloud and practice the conversation. Well, conversation practice is very, very important. So in case you have somebody with you to practice the conversation, it would be very great over there. Lara and Sona. Let's read their dialogues. I want to watch your performance in the play. I hear you are going to deliver a monologue in French. Well, in reply, Sona says, yes, Lara, I am always excited to perform. So, observe over here the dialogues where the infinitives have been used. That is the purpose of reading this. To perform on stage. Well, the conversation continues. How did you learn to speak French so fluently? I owe it all to my mom. I learned to speak French when I was a child. So you see the usage of prepositions and the base form, that is the infinitives used in this sentence. I owe it all to my mom. I learned to speak. So both the places we have used the infinitives. Lara asked the question, did you have to work hard to learn the language? So a combined sentence over here, you can observe the two sentences have been combined using the preposition additionally over here. In reply, Sona says, initially, yes. But once I learned to understand enough of the language to think in French, it became easier. So in all this conversation, we learned how to use the infinitives properly. Finally, 2 more dialogues. Well, I'm sure your performance will be much appreciated by everyone. Thanks, Lara. This was a short conversation between Lara and Sona, from which we acknowledged ourselves. Finally, the use of infinitives, the 2 infinitives. This was all for today's lecture, this chapter. See you soon in the upcoming lecture. Till then, take care, have a nice day and goodbye.